My 58-year-old daughter Jennifer, 27 years old, has a new boyfriend David, 32 years old. Last week, they came to dinner unexpectedly. I cooked an Asian dish. Unknown to me at the time, David has some major food preferences, not allergies or a special diet, just things he doesn't eat. He hadn't wanted to stay, apparently. He had said so earlier in the day, but Jennifer forgot. He didn't say anything when Jennifer asked if they could stay. When I served the food, he looked at it like it was poison, pushed it away, and said, "I'm not eating this." Then he left without her knowing. My daughter was stunned and upset. They had a huge fight over his rude behavior and him leaving her there. A week later, they made up. He seems to have convinced her that it was her fault for staying for dinner, even though she knew about his food preferences. She felt bad for not considering his preferences, but told him his behavior was not okay and that he should have communicated with her before dinner. Now, here is where I come in. My birthday is coming up, and my son is flying in from out of state. So I really want the whole family to be there. I had already chosen the restaurant I want to go to for dinner on my birthday. It's a Chinese restaurant that my family all enjoys. I am assuming that David will not eat there since he had such a problem with my Asian food. He said rice is a big turnoff for him. I could change the restaurant, there is time, but I really don't want to. They have only been dating for a couple of months, and he was very rude to me in my home. He hasn't apologized to me. I told Jennifer about my plans, and she said he probably won't come. I asked if she would still come, or if she is going to choose to stay with him. She said she would come, but I suspect he will pressure her to not come. Part of me wants to push it to show my daughter what she has in store for her future if she stays in this relationship, but the other part wants to not upset anyone. Am I the idiot if I don't change the restaurant? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, not the a-hole. It's one thing to be picky, but it's another thing to be so rude about it. Calling your food crap is where he automatically became the a-hole. I thought he was just being anxious before, but saying something like that crossed the line. Honestly, it's great to be accommodating, but also don't change your plans. I think you're right. It's probably better that she gets woken up to his behavior sooner rather than later. The longer you get trapped with someone, the harder it is to leave. That being said, be careful not to accidentally drive a wedge between yourself and your daughter. Be diplomatic and reasonable. Support your daughter emotionally through this. Toxic partners have the most power when they convince people that it's just them against the world together and that no one else will support them. Comment 2. Not the idiot. He's being abusive, insulting, and controlling. Him leaving her stranded there without saying a word is a huge red flag for abuse. He will undoubtedly be trying to get her to distance herself from you, other family, and friends. Are you Asian? And he's trying to bully your Asian daughter into never eating Asian food again? That's not just abusive, that's racist fetish behavior. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's your birthday. You get to pick the restaurant. It should be where you want to go. You're in a tender spot, though. Making your daughter feel like she has to choose is an easy path to alienation and isolation. That said, I wouldn't do anything to accommodate an idiot like him. Now, for the next story. My husband picks me up from work at night some days. Yesterday, I noticed we weren't going home, and when I asked, he said we're going to dinner at his family's. I was so exhausted from work, and I also dislike some of his family members, LOL. So I got really angry that he didn't ask if I wanted to go, before promising his family we were, or at least giving me a heads up. Instead of apologizing, he argued that I was being dramatic. So naturally, I got dramatic for real. And as soon as we arrived at their driveway, I called an Uber and left. He said I was being disrespectful and embarrassing myself in front of his family. I don't care, but he's still pissed at me. So, Ada? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. So, your husband kidnaps you and drives to an unknown destination. He finally makes it clear that he's voluntold you eating at his family's. Escaping at your first chance was exactly the right thing to do. He needs to be clearly shown that he can't bully you into doing something you never agreed to. He embarrassed himself in front of his family by being unable to deliver what he promised. That's his own fault. Yes, you were disrespectful here. However, being disrespectful to someone whose actions deserve no respect is not a behavior. Not the idiot, and you're the one entitled to be pissed, not him. He should be thankful you took off in an Uber and not the car. Comment 2. I love all the comments in both agreement or disagreement alike. Very enlightening. Just want to clarify, as there seems to be some confusion on if I was going willingly or not. His family lives nearby, and the drive to their house is mostly the same as to mine, but a different freeway exit. I only noticed when this time came, so yes, I was in the car willingly, but I guessed we were going home like every night until I saw the exit we were taking. Maybe I was wrong for not asking ahead of time, who knows. Either way, keep the opinions coming. Comment 3. Not the idiot. He has poor communication skills, and he was not being respectful, especially after you worked all day. I had a husband like this, and we are now divorced. He began always making me feel like I was stupid, and it lowered my self-esteem, and lived like this for 15 years. I have remarried to a kind man. Just wish I got out earlier. Now for the next story. I, 22 female, recently started living with my boyfriend, M, 22. I hate sharing personal hygiene stuff. I have 2 different soaps for body and face and 3 towels, body, face, and hair. My boyfriend has 1 towel that he uses to dry, well, everything. It's gross to me. Anyway, he knows not to use my stuff. Today, I found him with the towel dedicated to my face wrapped around his waist. I was so grossed out and yelled at him for using it. He said he wanted to take a shower and couldn't find his. I am still mad and refusing to talk to him. He called me selfish and said I am acting like an AH over a towel, that it's not a big deal. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here. Yeah, he shouldn't use your towel. Freaking out, yelling, and giving him the silent treatment is also a huge overreaction. Most people just use 1 towel after a shower, you know. There might be a mental health issue going on that needs addressing if you're this grossed out by that concept. Edit to add, oh my God, people. I'm saying the degree of distress she's feeling about someone using her towel might indicate a mental health issue, not using 3 towels in and of itself. Read the sentence I wrote. Comment 2. Was he going to put the towel back once he'd finished using it? Or was he going to put it with the dirty laundry? If he used it in a hurry because he forgot his, it's not such a big deal. He wasn't going to go out naked and get water everywhere, right? Just wash it. Just edit. Y'all are going too far talking about red flags and abuse, I swear. It's a damn towel and 2 immature adults, period. You're the idiot. Comment 3. Everyone sucks here. He should have respected your face towel. You are going way over the top by giving him the silent treatment. Both of y'all need to grow up. He needs to learn respect, and you need to learn communication skills. Now, for the next story. My 42 years old, best friend forever. 41 years old. Lives with her boyfriend and her 4 children. 20-year-old female, 17-year-old male, 13-year-old female, and 6-year-old male in a small 3-bedroom house. Her boyfriend is rather lazy and only works 30 hours a week. He spends the rest of his time sleeping or playing on his phone. I or my husband usually take care of any home or car maintenance. My best friend also works about 30 hours a week, but takes care of all the housework and childcare. They were both laid off during the COVID-19 pandemic and didn't pay any rent or save any money from stimulus funds. Instead, they spent it on unnecessary items. Once things started returning to normal, they began paying rent but ignored the 16 months they didn't pay. They continue to spend any extra money they have on unnecessary things. Recently, my best friend received an eviction notice giving her until the 15th of next month to move out. My husband and I have encouraged her to talk to the landlord, seek help from family, contact the county, and even seek legal aid. However, she has not taken any of these actions, and instead chooses to drink and ignore the situation. She mentioned the possibility of moving in with me and my family, husband, 17-year-old daughter, and 13-year-old son. As much as I would love to help her, I cannot. I am a neat freak, whereas she is not. My children regularly attend school, while her children often miss a lot of school. My 17-year-old daughter works a lot on top of going to school, while her 20-year-old daughter spends her days in bed smoking marijuana, which is legal here, and having guests over. Additionally, she has a large number of pets, specifically 13 dogs and 14 cats. I have my own hobby farm, and my animals are well taken care of and clean. On the other hand, her pets are not as well taken care of, and the house often has messes. So, would it make me a bad person to leave her, her family, and her pets homeless? I have offered to accompany her to talk to organizations, but she continues to ignore all suggestions. Comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. She is extremely irresponsible, and you shouldn't have to deal with the consequences of her actions. She has options, but she chooses the easiest one for herself. Even if only the humans moved in with you, it would be chaotic, and I bet you and your husband would end up doing all the chores without any help. Also, having 13 dogs and 14 cats in a small apartment is insane. You cannot allow this person to intrude on your life any further than she already has. Her suggestion of moving in with you under these circumstances, when it's not even a last resort, is selfish. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You have already helped her by providing resources and options that she ignored. You cannot move in with me. Your options are to talk to these organizations and/or your landlord or vacate the premises. Additionally, having that many pets likely violates her lease, and if the landlord finds out, she could be evicted for that reason alone. Depending on local laws, it may also be against local codes without some kind of license. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You need to remember the phrase, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." Bah. This situation is not your responsibility. It's all on her and her boyfriend due to their poor planning, financial irresponsibility, and overall poor adulting. You don't have to take them in, and despite what she might think, that would be a disaster for everyone involved. Expect this to potentially be the end of your friendship, because she will likely blame you for everything when you say, "No, you can't move in here." Now, for the next story. I co-parent an 8-year-old boy, Noah, with his mom, Jessica. Noah's mom and I were never really together, but get along most of the time. She's currently seeing this guy named Greg, and it's serious enough to where he's moved in. I asked Jessica that I'd like to know more about Greg, and she said her relationships are none of my business. I said in this case it is because he's sharing a living space with my son. At the very least, I'd like to see a background check. She told me she's vetted him a long time ago, and I should accept her word that he's a good person. I said if he is a good guy and you vetted him, then share that information with me. I would 10,000% share that information with her if I was going to move in and significant other into the same space as our son. That is my way of assuring my son's mom that she has nothing to worry about. I think it's totally rational. Other than that, I don't care if she's dating a space alien. Literally, I couldn't care less. She refused, so I told her that I'll just hire a PI to make sure my son is safe while living in the same house with an adult who I know nothing about. She told me I was acting like a psycho. Edit. It doesn't matter if he's the boyfriend or roommate or cousin or Captain Crunch. I want to know who's living in the same home as my minor child. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Her relationships are not your business. The way you write about her is coming across very aggressively. If you speak to her that way in person, it's not at all surprising that she is not willing to share her private life with you. If you are truly interested in co-parenting effectively, then the first thing you need to do is evaluate the way you treat Jessica. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Who she dates is her business, not yours. You have every right to talk to her about your son. You have no right to expect her to share information regarding her significant other. And you have absolutely no right to think you can veto her relationships. Your ability to control your son's environment only exists inside your home, not hers. Comment 3. You're the idiot. You aren't together and share a son. Yes, I understand you care for your son and his well-being, but he isn't only your son, and not your business who she is with. Unless there is a history you aren't sharing with drug use or a bad experience with your kid and her previous boyfriends. Now, for the next story. My 28-year-old male, sister, 24-year-old female, is getting married at the end of this month on the same day as my child's first birthday party. My wife scheduled it for this day because it's the only day certain family on her side can come. She also locked this date in before we knew her wedding would be then. My sister and I aren't close, but last year I had a major fallout with my parents, and am not on speaking terms with them. My parents have also never met my child. I made a point to sit down with my sister last year, while I was having problems with my parents, to make sure she knew I didn't have a problem with her. Since then, she's still kept me updated about major points in her life. She started dating the guy last September. He proposed in April. I had never met her fiancé when he proposed. I haven't been attending any family gatherings. So, in May, my sister asked if we could all go out to lunch. The whole thing was pretty normal first meeting type stuff, but otherwise not unpleasant. About halfway through, her fiancé got up to go to the restroom, and my sister asked if there was any chance that our parents could meet my child. I said that I didn't want to discuss that at that time. She got very quiet, and we tried to move on to other topics. She then asked if we would be going to her wedding. At this point, I had already been feeling conflicted about it because I didn't want to be the cause of any drama at her wedding. My wife said that she was sorry, but we had already planned our child's birthday for that day, so it wouldn't work. My sister seemed upset, but let it go, and we awkwardly finished lunch and left. My wife pointed out that it felt to her like the whole thing was just out of obligation, and that it seemed like my sister just wanted to ask those questions, and the rest was normal fluff. She also pointed out that my sister basically ignored our child the whole time, other than saying how big they've gotten, which is very out of character for her. She loves babies. I felt like I wanted to explain that I don't want to stir the pot and that I don't trust my parents to not do that if I show up. But since she seemed upset, I figured I should give her space. The next time I saw my sister and her fiancé was at my youngest sibling's baptism in July. I went by myself, since my youngest brother specifically asked me to come, and all they said was, "Hi, nice to see you," before walking away. Since then, my sister hasn't spoken to me at all, so I feel like I've offended her. I feel like an AH for not at least trying to go for a little and support her. I've also been trying to decide if I should get them a gift or if that would complicate things. I know I feel guilty anytime I find something my parents have given me, and I've even had to make myself get rid of some of the wedding gifts they gave us because I get too many mixed feelings. I don't want to put her in a similar position, but I feel like an AH for not doing something for them, or at least explaining myself. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.